Welcome back to Rim Racket. This episode, we will be playing 21 Questions, NBA edition. This guy will be presenting the questions.
All right.
We will be doing the answering.
I'll put my 2 cents in after they answer. Y'all can follow along in the comments though. If y'all want to answer along. I'll try to go in depth. I didn't want to get the who's the GOAT. Dude. Didn't want to go questions like that. So, I try to do your not typical 21 questions.
Well, the GOAT is
I'd also like to say it's midnight, so
The grind never stops.
if there's yawning,
Rim Racket at night.
it's their fault. Anyways,
All right.
here we go.
The first question is all time. And if I ever say player or team, it's all time. Just want to get that out of the way.
So
Most
all-time questions?
yes.
Yeah.
Most underrated player
All time.
all time.
Ever?
Ever.
Ever.
I mean, I don't know.
Who doesn't like get his flowers?
It's pretty
Yeah.
subjective.
I mean, yeah, but there's like you talk about LeBrons, the Michael Jordans, the Kobe's, and stuff like that. But who's the one guy who's really good, but nobody really talks about him, and he doesn't have to have the rings. I mean, but like you said, it's subjective. So that's what 21 questions is. I mean, it's your opinion at the end of the day. So just take it how you want to, I guess.
All time is hard.
Yeah, that's a.
I mean, it could be a current day player. I mean, you don't. Like I said, it's your opinion.
No, I'm just trying to think. Like, there's
The first one that came to mind for me was T-Mac, but it was because he got injured, right?
Right.
yeah.
I mean, and that could. I mean,
But it's also
play a
like I don't think T-Mac's underrated anymore. Like he was when I was younger. 'Cause nobody really talked about him. Brandon Roy was another good one.
I feel
Because
like
of
they're like
injuries.
getting their flowers now.
But now, yeah, they're getting them now because the YouTube and
okay.
I think, like,
TikTok and
players from that era are speaking out on how good they were.
Yeah.
So that's.
I guess I mean like underrated when they played. If that makes it any easier.
I think. I mean, me personally, and I'll die on this hill that David Robinson is one of the. He, in my book, is like a top 3 center. I know it's a very hot take, but I feel like David Robinson is very overlooked upon, just because he played his whole career in San Antonio, and it's small market. But the things he did and the kind of player he was, he's just as good as some of the best centers we've ever had. He just, like I said, played in a smaller market, and he wasn't successful until the later years of his career.
You pick T-Mac.
yeah, I'm just gonna roll with the T-Mac one because I can't really think of anybody else off the top of dome.
My pick. I mean, I'm not gonna say he's like not overrated or anything like that, but I think Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing back in the day, he was a big dominant center in New York. I mean, he kept having to go against Jordan, so he never won anything. And I don't think when you talk centers, I don't think Patrick Ewing gets brought up enough.
Neither is Ben Wallace,
Ben Wallace.
the
Shout out-
Shaq stopper.
Shout out Ben Wallace.
Shout
man.
out Ben Wallace.
Shout out Ben Wallace. And just to bounce off that question, the most overhyped player of all time.
Overhyped.
Overhyped player. Who gets so much credit with very little work, I guess. I mean, very little work, but
This is probably gonna not sit well with nobody.
and just before you answer that, some of these answers might ruffle some feathers, bro.
Yeah, like-
folks might get mad, like, oh, I can't believe he said so and so was overrated or whatever.
And this is no knock to this player because he's one of the reasons why I love basketball. But Kobe, I feel like
Okay.
Kobe's whole legacy is inflated at different points. But even though it's that, he's one of my favorite players ever. He's one of the guys that got me hooked into basketball during that Game 7 against Boston in 2010. That shit was like crack. But I just feel like in terms of, I've been seeing people put him top 5 all time, and I think, Tim Duncan's better than him all time. I think Magic Johnson had 5 rings in 13 years, and Kobe had 5 rings in 20 years. So they're just Kobe's so great, but I feel like people putting him just top 5 because they, I don't know. I feel like it's very inflated right now. But no knock to Kobe. Still, I love to Kobe. He's one of my favorite players ever. But
I don't
I
know.
feel like he's very
You're
over.
cool to have your opinion. I shouldn't expect you to say.
I don't know if the Kobe thing is inflated. Like, again, it's your opinion. I get it, but whenever you think of Michael Jordan, who's the closest player you think of to Mike
Bro.
in terms of like skill?
No, but
The way they
yeah,
play,
Kobe.
it's Kobe.
Kobe, for sure.
He's one championship off of being six like MJ. So when you think of the GOATs, it's MJ, number one, LeBron, number one, right? Whatever you choose. But then the closest thing to one of the number one guys is that guy.
Yeah.
And again, it's your opinion.
No,
So it is
I
what
get
it is.
that. He's the closest thing to MJ.
But it's like,
But I just don't feel like just because he's so close to MJ makes him better than other
I
players.
see where
You know what I'm saying?
you're coming from.
Just 'cause
I see
he's-
where
He's
you're
like
coming from. I don't
a step
personally
behind
agree.
Michael doesn't mean he's better than Kareem, who has what 5 MVPs and 6 rings.
I personally don't agree, but I do see where you're coming from. That's why I'm not. That's why I'm not.
Like this, no knock to him. I just feel like people like Kareem all time is a better player, or people like Tim Duncan, who is literally one shot away from having 6 rings. You know, he's literally one shot away from having a perfect finals record, just like MJ. One shot away. But
most
that
overrated.
that's just me. I love Kobe to death though.
You're really setting me up. I don't really know like who I would say was
Draymond
overrated.
Green.
Draymond Green is not overrated.
Well, I'll let you think of yours. I'm gonna go out and I'm just gonna say it. I think Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic could score. Luka Doncic, he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but he's one of the best. He's the best player in the league. When he hasn't done anything in Dallas,
He's been to the Western Conference Finals.
I know, but I mean, he couldn't get it done. He had Kyrie get traded over there, and they couldn't get it done. Maybe this next season they get it done. I don't know, but I see all the Luka this, Luka that, and Joel Embiid too. I think Joel. You know what? Let me change my name. Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid gets so much praise for doing very little, when I think he's the third best center in the league.
Oh, third.
He's
Third.
definitely second.
Third.
Two.
Jokic at 1.
Yeah.
Jokic at
Who's
1.
number 2, bro?
Yeah, I'll say Jokic at 1. Who's 2?
Yeah, who's 2?
Y'all gonna get on my ass.
He didn't
Cat?
play Super Bowl.
You're gonna say
No,
Cat?
no. I think Bam Adebayo
Mm,
is better than Joel Embiid.
No, bro.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
Not
I,
at
think,
all.
I think Bam.
There's not a single thing that Bam does that's better than Joel. He
Bro.
doesn't score better. He doesn't pass better. He doesn't play defense better.
In
The
my
reason
opinion,
why, reason why I think Joel gets the hype he does is because early in his career he had crazy foot injuries that no one should have came back from. And his whole life, his whole career has been like he's made a glass, and he's came back and turned that whole narrative around. And
this ain't saying he's bad or anything.
no, I get
But,
what
like,
you're saying.
Like the past couple years when they've put Joel in the MVP race. No, I don't even think he should have won the MVP this past season.
I mean, it's just his stats back it up. I mean, what else do you want out of an MVP?
I mean, I think Jokic had better stats. He had better stats this year. I mean, he won the scoring title, I think. I think Embiid won the scoring title this year. But other than that,
I think the
Jokic
NBA
won-
just the voters are having a thing with they don't want to vote like the same player 3 years in a row. Like they gave Giannis back to back, Jokic back to back.
I would personally rather have Bam.
I feel like Jokic probably was the MVP
Over
this year,
Embiid.
but Bam is a crazy take because there's not a single thing Bam does that's even on par with Joel. But Bam is good.
I think if you switch the roles, I think Philly would do better with Bam.
Well,
I think Philly
with
would do
James
better.
Harden,
I think
maybe.
Philly would do better with
Yeah.
Bam than
And
My
then
most overrated player.
Yeah.
I'm going James Harden.
James Harden.
I'm going James Harden. James Harden, obviously, he's great. Probably top 3, maybe, shooting guards of all time. But,
That's an interesting take.
that's maybe
We'll go back on that one, but go on.
top 3?
Yeah.
Who's your top 3 shooting guards?
He's got D Wade,
He's neck and neck with D Wade. I feel.
Kobe, D Wade.
Yeah.
Reggie Miller,
Mike.
Mike.
Oh, Michael Jordan, duh. my bad.
So I feel like D Wade.
So 3 and D Wade. It's like a
they're neck and neck.
3A, 3B.
Yeah.
You know, if you put D Wade, you put D Wade.
If you
put
value
James Harden,
MVPs over championships, it just can go anywhere.
Allen Iverson.
whatever.
He's in the Hall of
He's a
Fame.
combo guard. Anyways, James
He's in the Hall
Harden,
of Fame
because
PG.
James Harden, obviously, great player, fun player. Everybody's gonna copy his style, like that Jeff Teague thing. You see people playing like James Harden, but not like Dwayne Wade, because ISO ball is fun.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean that you can win, and that's something that he hasn't done. Is win. And I know like people take championships like out of proportion. Like Carmelo Anthony is one of the greatest scorers of all time, but because he doesn't have a championship, people are gonna shit on him every single chance they can get. And I'm not gonna do that for James Harden, but the way that he plays, I don't think he's ever going to win a championship. I think if the 76ers don't do anything this year, Joel Embiid's gone, and James Harden is just gonna be stuck there, standing at the hash like he does when Joel is on the court. So that's my pick.
That's a
I
solid
can get
pick.
with you on that. I like James Harden, but I can get with you on that.
Yeah, he's one of the best scorers ever, but it's just not translated to anything. So it definitely has been inflated.
Most definitely. This one you could base it off record. I personally wouldn't because I feel like that's just a cop out. But best regular season team all time.
The Warriors, 73-9.
2000.
Regular season, not a championship.
Regular season,
73-9. Warriors.
Oh, just regular season.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, and the Warriors. If you're gonna factor in regular season and playoffs, I'm going 2001 Lakers, where they went like 15-1 in the playoffs. They only lost one game and right to a title. Like if you were to count the playoffs, I'd say that's the best team of all time.
as much as I don't want to say the Warriors, I mean, it's
But
probably gonna be my answer.
If it's
But
strictly
I
just
wouldn't.
regular season, it's Warriors.
I mean,
that team was just
I don't want to say the 73-9
Well-
Warriors. I think the Warriors the next year with KD was
But the best regular season, 73-9. It's the best regular season of all time.
Yeah.
9 games out of 82. They only lose 9.
I think like the build of the team with KD when he got added on was better than. Now, granted, the record was better, but like I said, I feel like the record is a cop out.
I feel like whenever they had KD, if they were going for the record, they could have got it.
Yeah.
But going into the season, they talked about we don't care. We already have the record. We're not trying to win any more records. You know, they made that very clear. We already got the record. We don't care.
Player with the best sportsmanship. Who do you think is one of the best players? Like or the player with the best type of sportsmanship.
I got a funny
Ivan
story.
Marjanovic.
Oh yeah. So I've always been like a Drew Holiday fan, and he's always like a super nice dude.
Yeah.
And so whenever me and my dad went to go watch the Pelicans play Memphis, I met Drew Holiday, and I was like, he's gonna be the one guy on the Pelicans that's actually gonna like sign an autograph. And dude did not. He was the one player on the whole Pelicans roster that did not stop for signatures. And it made me so mad. So he has like a few like humanitarian awards and everything.
Drew
Like,
Hol-
like on
Drew-
paper-
Drew Holiday has the best sportsmanship.
On paper he does, but like when I met him in person, he was just like so shut off to anything.
Other than him running off on me, I gotta say Darius Garland. Like you never see Darius Garland down, bro. He's so positive, bro. Shout out
I'm
Darius
just trying to
Garland.
think of like happy dudes around the league. JJ Barea.
Steven Adams.
Oh yeah, Steven Adams.
Steven
Adams.
Adams.
He's
Steven
gonna
Adams.
go. It has to be him. Like
Steven Adams. I just remember when you brought up the center, Steven Adams.
Dude never has a bad time.
Not for real. Most impressive championship.
Impressive.
Impressive.
Right off the bat.
2016 Cavs.
2004 Pistons.
Thank you, Jordan. I thought I would have never heard those words out of your mouth. And that was
Basketball fan.
a rough one, but
It really wasn't. I mean,
But, I
I
mean-
wasn't on the team. I was just watching.
2004
And again, like
Pistons.
every championship has their if this player wasn't injured,
right.
this would have happened. If Draymond Green didn't get suspended game 5, maybe they would have won because
Kevin Love was out
Draymond
for
dropped
game
a
6
triple
with
double and it
concussion.
was like 30 points. Crazy
The,
stuff.
the Cavs 3-1 comeback, yes, impressive. But I mean,
04 Pistons beat the Lakers that were coming off a three-peat, and they added Gary Payton and Carmelo. Now, granted, those players were obviously, like the later years of their career, and they're old, but they still have Phil Jackson, like the most winningest coach in NBA history. He's got like 13 championships altogether. And then they have the three-peat with Shaq and Kobe, and they added like two really smart guys. And they went and lost to a scrappy Pistons team that shouldn't even beat them in the first place. I think that was very, very impressive.
Voice crack was bad. Jesus.
Hey, yo.
Jesus. 2011 Mavericks. They beat the Lakers. They beat the Spurs. And they get to the finals.
Beat the Thunder too.
They beat the Thunder, yeah. And they get to the finals. LeBron's first year
Beat the
in,
Heat.
in Miami. And even I thought LeBron was going to knock him out, and they didn't. Dirk got it done. And as a LeBron fan, you know, I hate that final. I just hate it. I hate Jason Terry hitting a three and doing that stupid jet bullshit down the court.
I will say finals like that, where the team that shouldn't win ends
The
up winning,
underdog.
is a lot more fun to watch, regardless if it's your team that's losing or not.
Right. And, you know, I got to tip my hat off to the Mavericks because that was.
Dirk was
And
on
beat
something.
him in what, 6? Beat him in 6,
I
right?
think so. Something crazy.
Yeah.
Dirk was just on a
It
revenge
didn't go
tour.
to 7. I'm pretty sure it was 6.
Dirk was on revenge
I'm
tour.
not good
Yeah.
with numbers.
But yeah, 2011 Mavericks.
That's a good one.
Least deserving MVP. Name an MVP that least deserving.
Steve Nash.
My vote's Embiid. I made that point clear earlier. I didn't think he should have won it.
2009 LeBron James.
I forgot what year it was, but Kobe was averaging like
2009.
30
What?
something.
2009 LeBron James. That MVP should have went to Dwayne Wade. That was the 1 year D Wade played at an MVP level. 2009 right before.
Yeah, LeBron won 9, 10, and then
And then
12, 13, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think 2009 definitely should have went to D Wade. D Wade he just went crazy that year. He was going off.
I forgot what year it was, but one of the Steve Nash ones should have went to Kobe.
Yeah.
And if you know what year I'm talking about, then you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
I feel like Steve Nash was deserving of an MVP award, but the fact that he went back to back was just kind of wild. Especially because Kobe was carrying a team of bums. Like
Smooch Parker, Kwame Brown,
no hate to them, but like that. Those teams
Sasha
were not.
Vujacic.
Luke Walton.
Sasha was hey, watch it down there. There's a non-expansion, but if you could move a team to a different city, what team are you moving?
I mean, I think the obvious one is you're moving OKC back to Seattle, just because Seattle has the basketball history there, and OKC doesn't have sports history. Like they're not a sports town. They just kind of moved because. So I think the story behind that was whenever Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans, the Hornets played in Oklahoma City, and then the owner liked it a lot. And he's like, "Hey, I want to move a team to Oklahoma City. It's cheap here," and so he got into the Seattle ownership group because Seattle wasn't going to fund a new stadium, and he just sent them all to Oklahoma City. But I think Seattle has they're a very huge sports town. They got the Seahawks, obviously. They have
Storm.
the Storm. They have
Mariners.
the Mariners. They have the new
Kraken.
Kraken, the hockey team. So I think it's just like a really huge sports city, and the fact that they don't have the Sonics there anymore is just, and that's just probably like the biggest, like the obvious one.
They have the crossover though.
And that is like
Shout out Jonathan Kuminga.
right behind the Drew League.
Who the what?
Jonathan Kuminga.
Oh, Jonathan Kuminga. I didn't know who
60
that.
points.
Who the huh?
That's
Bro.
like probably the best one right behind Drew League.
Not for real. I would say move Memphis back to Vancouver.
Back to Vancouver.
Mm-hmm. It expands the NBA some more. Like you're going to a whole other country, and I like their jerseys in Vancouver. I think the Grizzlies brand look cooler in Vancouver. So
Grizzlies.
as much as I hate losing a team like a basketball team that's 2 hours away from me, they would look cooler in Vancouver. So.
I think the NBA just needs to actually expand overseas more. Like they've been trying those Mexico City games out forever, and I think that's probably the next spot if they were to go. Mexico City's probably next up.
I don't really have an answer to be honest. I think they should expand and they would add a team in Vegas and Seattle.
Yeah.
But then somebody would have to go to the East, and
See, I don't think they'll do that.
I bet Memphis would.
it would either be Memphis or the Pelicans.
It's like geographically.
Yeah.
Which that would just shake up some divisions, but The thing about the NBA is divisions literally don't matter, whereas in every other sport, your division matters.
Yeah.
NBA, it is not. It just matters like scheduling. Like you're gonna play, like the Bulls are gonna play the Cavs 4 times a year, whereas opposed the Bulls are gonna play the Warriors twice.
I would love to. I know that the Grizzlies expansion happened when I was alive, but I don't remember it. I would love to watch a team protect 8 players, and then they do that draft, and then it's like, oh my god, freaking, I don't know, who's somebody that has a bad contract? Davis Bertans is leading the Vegas with points. Like, I would tune into the games, no matter
Yeah,
how
it'd be
bad they
fun.
are. It's like it'd be fun.
Because whenever back in NHL, whenever they added the Golden Knights, just like 3 years ago, a team of just expansion players went to the playoffs, and it was the first time like in any of the 4 major sports that an expansion team year one went to the playoffs. It'd be super fun just like to see like a bottom of the roster type dude that gets those 20
No
shots a
playing
night.
time.
Like Cam
That's crazy.
Thomas. I mean, he's not bottom of the lineup no more. Like,
Yeah, but like someone that gets like 8 shots a game and they go and get 20 shots a game, and just see them ball the fuck out.
Yeah. I had Jacob help me earlier with questions, but I had to bring one player up because when we were thinking of questions, I couldn't really give an answer. Jacob didn't really give me an answer, but should Derrick Rose be in the Hall of Fame?
No. Derrick Rose is a, I don't know the word I'm looking for.
He's a one-time MVP. He's I don't know how many times
Youngest
All-Star.
MVP. I think he's 4-time All Star.
I think he's probably going to make the NBA, the Hall of Fame, because the NBA has one of the weakest Hall of Fames of all time.
Yeah.
Like baseball, you got to be like good.
Shit.
Yeah, you got to be
Shit.
him
The
to
shit
get
and
into
not
the
on
baseball.
drugs.
But basketball, it's like, you
Stuck
know,
it out for 15
hey, you were a
years
good
and you're a pro
player. You know, everybody loves you.
Yeah.
Like fucking, who got their jersey retired in OKC?
Nick Collison.
Nick Collison. Shout out Nick Collison. You don't deserve it, but shout out Nick Collison.
But I think that's just the OKC thing. I mean, that's
Yeah, but it's just like,
I think
are
that
you shitting me? Nick Collison?
the Basketball Hall of Fame just does that. Like, if they just kind of add you into the Hall of Fame if you've been around the game for a long time. Like, for instance, and this is no knock to Yao Ming, but in his NBA career, he was just like, his only accolades is 8-time All Star. Literally, that's it. And he's in the Hall of Fame. He doesn't have any, like, I mean, he's rookie of the year too, but, like, he doesn't have any, like, championships. He doesn't have anything, like, big that kind of solidifies him. But I feel like youngest MVP ever, rookie of the year, 3 or 4-time All Star, All NBA a couple times, and then what he did in college and in high school kind of puts him in the Hall of Fame, D Rose, but not first ballot. I don't think he's the type of guy that will be in there like right off the bat. Like Chris Webber was on the ballot for like 8 years before he even got in, and Chris Webber's like obviously got a little bit bigger of a resume than D Rose does besides that MVP.
I think D-Rose just nostalgia.
Yeah.
He's just the big what if.
Yeah.
Everybody loves a what if player.
Kind of bringing it back to modern day. Y'all have any 2023 boom or bust predictions?
For draft prospects?
Yeah, like this year, like the rookies this year. These questions are gonna go all over the place. I didn't have no type of like order, but
I think the Thompson twins are gonna go off. I'm really big believers in the Thompson twins.
Big fan of the Thompson
Yeah.
twins.
I like the way both of them play. What's cool to me is they both play two different types of basketball, even though they're like the same person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like those two a lot.
I mean, I'm big on Wemby. I like Wemby, but I feel like Scoot is gonna take Scoot and Anthony Simons are gonna hit it off in Portland. And Scoot said he's gonna win Rookie of the Year, and I want to see that.
I think Vic is gonna struggle, at least for like the first probably like 10, 15 games, just because. I mean, it just happens, especially being a big body like that.
Yeah.
Like whenever Alonzo's come in the league, it was like every point guard's dream to like bust his ass whenever it was time for it. And so I feel like if you're a big guy in the NBA and you're versing Wemby, the biggest prospect since LeBron, if you're Joel Embiid, you're gonna dominate over him.
Yeah.
If Kenny Lofton can push him around, then the MVP of the league can push him around.
That's why they got Zach Collins.
How's that Collins?
I was just gonna say something. Oh, you know who's not gonna struggle? Lock in your most improved player votes for Devin Vassell. He's gonna win it. I'm calling it right now. That's my MIP. Devin Vassell.
Yeah, that was the question. I didn't even think about most improved player of the year.
Well, that's my answer.
Most improved
Player.
player.
I'm just thinking of people that's gonna have like
I think Cam Thomas.
PT.
Cam Thomas.
PT.
I don't think Cam Thomas is gonna get that much playing time.
Who's in Brooklyn though?
Brooklyn Bridges, Cam Thomas.
OG Anunoby.
Wait, what did you say?
Who's in Brooklyn?
Yeah,
Cam Johnson, Mikal
Cam
Bridges.
Johnson. That's what I meant. I said I said Thomas, but I meant
I
Johnson.
was like, what? Like, yeah, he's in Brooklyn.
I think if I had to pick MIP, I'm going OG Anunoby just because he's been very solid for the Raptors, and now he's gonna get more touches with that Fred.
And I mean, Darius Garland should have won it last year, and I feel like he can up himself again. I mean, he's an all-star.
He went from being an all-star to not being an all-star. I don't think you're gonna give him most improved on a year. He's not an all-star.
I mean, Ja won most improved his second
He didn't
year.
deserve it.
Yeah, that was the
It
most.
was Jordan Poole's. It was.
You think he might get a nod for MIP?
He
Probably.
probably because all those touches that Bradley Beal had
Yep.
are now in the hands of Jordan Poole, and
Kyle
Jordan
Kuzma.
Poole is gonna shoot it. There's no doubt about it. Like, dude,
Say Jordan Poole's over every game.
yeah.
And Kyle Kuzma. It's just them. It's those two. That's it.
Because Porzingis is gone too, so like all those pick
Next
and rolls
player?
are going to.
Monte Morris.
Shout out Martin.
Kristaps Porzingis.
Penis.
Gone.
Most underrated coach.
I said Kristaps. I meant.
Underrated coach.
Underrated coach.
I'm not good with coaches. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I can give you
I
one.
mean, you can at least give me the team.
Eric Spoelstra, just because he's never won Coach of the Year and he's been in how many finals?
I would agree with that. That's like
6 or 7 finals.
Tim Duncan. He's one of the greatest defensive players ever, but he's never won a DPOY.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But then if I had to just pick one that's like not getting the credit he deserves, but he's a good coach, like under the radar,
Mhm.
It was Mike Brown for the longest time, and he finally got his love as Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, he was Coach of the Year back in like 07 with LeBron, but ever since 07, he's just been like so overlooked and been an assistant on everyone's team. And so to see him actually get love in Sacramento was crazy.
I think Ty Lue's underrated.
I
Came in the middle of the season after they fired David Blatt. Came back on the Warriors. I mean, I'm not saying he should win Coach of the Year or anything like that. I'm not saying none of that, but I mean, I think Ty Lue should have a coaching job somewhere.
He is.
Where?
LA Clippers.
He's not head coach, though, is he?
He is.
Is he?
Yeah.
Damn, what the hell am I? God,
A year behind?
I watch Clippers
Maybe
basketball.
a couple years.
My fault, guys. Damn. Well, Ty Lue, that's mine. This can go a whole lot of different ways, but I mean, I guess it's a big what if question. But the best non-injured, like best player that got injured, like what could have been. I guess you could this is where your teammates and Brandon Roy's. And,
I would go T-Mac again. He was just a taller Kobe. And if
Yeah.
Kobe's held to the high regard that he is right now, if T-Mac never got hurt, he'd be right there.
And he was just a smidge more
Athletic.
athletic and efficient than Kobe.
Well, I mean, this player didn't get. Well, he got injured. I guess. I only watched a little bit. I didn't watch too much of him. I wasn't born, but I mean, I'm trying to look up old film because of all the hype he got when he was
Pistol Pete.
alive. Lim Bias.
Lim Bias, yeah.
Lim Bias. Not a lot of people know about Lim Bias, but Lim Bias was the shit.
His injury is a lot different.
His injuries.
And then I think my obvious answer is just D Rose because dude was literally at the mountaintop, on top of the NBA.
Yeah.
Already has an MVP at 21 years old. And if you never get injured and you're already like at that point as a 21-year-old,
Sky's the
the
limit.
sky's the limit. Like you're going down as one of the best point guards ever.
There's somebody I'm forgetting.
Brandon Roy,
I've already named Brandon earlier.
Yeah.
I know that there's a
Greg
player
Oden.
that we forget. I thought about Greg Oden, but he's not it.
He was
I I just can't. I don't remember his name. I'll probably remember it later, but
You know who he played for?
nope.
We'll say Sean Livingston,
I
but
know
after he
he-
got injured, he was still a bucket. So
Yeah, he
Boogie.
was.
Boogie. Big guys not come back from Achilles tears. It's just it hardly ever happens. I think the best player to ever come back from an Achilles tear was probably
Kevin Durant.
KD or Dominique Wilkins. Like Dominique literally went and it was like first team All NBA the season after he tore it. He was out for Achilles tear. So the bigger guys just something like that really tears them up. So Boogie was dominant and then he hurt himself. So I think he'd definitely still be top 5 center in the league if he never would have got hurt today.
I figure I already know Jordan's answer, but I'm gonna go ahead and ask it anyway. Best college player. Yo,
Thailand, bro.
I knew it.
Shout
I
out.
even called it at the
Shout out
house.
Papa Bluff.
I even called it
You
at
gotta
the house.
represent. I mean, okay, I know he's not the best college player of all time, but I think he's top 3.
Oh,
I think if you want to go by
I go Kareem, Pete,
yeah.
Tyler.
Kareem just because he went 4, right?
Yeah, I gotta call it Kareem too.
But I'm always gonna say John Hansbrough because like he grew up 30 minutes away from me, 30 minutes away from me, and he's one of the best college players of all time.
Thing
I'm
about
right
that is he's hardly even shown love on the best college players of all time lists. He does not get the love he deserves.
Yeah.
At all.
Psycho T.
Like I looked at the list last year, like I think it was like top 50 best college players, and he was like 23 or something crazy like that. Even though he won, was it 2 national championships in college?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I was like 8.
Yeah, we was young.
We were young, but
Hey, anyone that comes around this area was a lottery pick in the NBA.
Shout out Otto.
Ben Hansbrough was a D-bag though. Apparently, I don't know, but I know some people who met him. Apparently, he's not a nice guy.
Dennis played with him at an open run in Bluff. So him and Green.
Your dad
Yes.
play with Ben,
Yeah.
but he got cooked.
Ben and his older brother, Greg.
They just came for money, bro.
Yeah. Now he sells houses. Shout out Ben though, he's getting bread.
Yeah.
NBA players that would make good coaches.
Draymond Green,
Rajon Rondo.
Chris
Chris Paul,
Yep.
Paul.
Chris Paul.
anybody who's smart.
Yeah. I mean LeBron.
I just feel like I don't think Chris Paul. I think he would know how to do it, but I just don't feel like the presence because
Hey,
he gets in fights with every team he's ever been on besides that OKC team because he's only there for a year. But every time he's at a team, it's fine. The first year, second year, there's turmoil because Chris Paul's an asshole. Right.
Good
I mean,
thing he's
hey,
gonna retire after this year.
LeBron's coaching strive for greatness right now with Rajon, and they're not doing too bad.
Just the way Rajon came into that Lakers team and just kind of elevated everybody.
No one really would say his name. I think Carmelo would too. I mean, just off the work I see with his son.
I think he's.
I think he's a good mentor. I think
I mean,
he'd be a good coach.
His son, I mean, he obviously taught his son football, right? But like, if he could do that, but with the whole team, I feel like he'd be a decent coach.
I think he's kind of.
Not like in the NBA or anything like that, but I mean, I feel like he'd be a good coach.
Melo is just one of the weird guys that is just so good individually and is just so mid, like in a team setting. Like he's just all about Melo, which is it wasn't bad for him. Like he ended up doing good. He has like 3 Olympic rings. He's got a high school championship. He's got a college championship. Like he's got every championship besides an NBA championship. But it was just all about Melo. It wasn't about anybody else.
Come on, dude.
This is kind of a back and forth question, like the first 2 questions. Underrated fan base. Which team has the most underrated fan base?
The Kings.
The Kings
I feel like
fans,
the Kings fans just got love, so I don't feel like they're underrated either.
But I feel like that's
They've
why
had-
they're underrated.
they've had the record for the loudest fans in NBA for the past 20 years. So the fact that
They
they're the
record
loudest,
keep that.
yeah,
I didn't know that
the
was
fact
a
that they're
thing.
the loudest fans in the
Warriors are
NBA.
pretty loud. The Oracle, they got that name for a reason.
The fact that they were the loudest fans in the NBA, even whenever the Kings have been bad for the past 20 years, is crazy. The fact that your fans are that loud, even whenever you suck, that's a good fan base.
I didn't know they record kept that.
Yeah. It's like it's been in their Instagram bio for a while.
How the hell do you keep that? Go to every game, I guess. But
I don't know. Shout out the Kings. They follow me on Twitter. X, my bad. What can I say?
they
What
follow
can I
me,
say?
bro.
Yes, sir.
Why have you not sent
Yeah,
West
watch,
Park
watch
to
it.
him, bro?
Huh?
Why have you not sent West
I
Park?
be
to
saying
him?
like Merry Christmas to them and shit. They be saying it back.
Merry Christmas, Sacramento.
Bro, maybe they seen your De'Aaron Fox auto and De'Aaron hooked you up with a follow or some
And they're gonna jump you and take it from
shit.
Follows you.
you. Crazy.
Tough.
Thought I was lying.
Show the folks, man.
Thought I was lying.
Show
Follows
folks.
you. They're not gonna be able to see it.
Zoom
They
in.
follow me.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think the Kings just got those. I wasn't gonna say them.
Apparently, I'm also followed by the Kings 2K team, Kings Guard. So basically, like me and the Kings, like that. We locked in for real.
So they're trying to take you away from Golden State. They're trying to be your favorite.
They
team.
are my second favorite team.
No, they're trying to be your first.
But
They're
Bro,
my second favorite
bro,
team.
you just said that on film. When you wake up with 2 less followers, remember this.
I'm not gonna wake up with 2 less followers. I love the Kings. I've been loving the Kings. De'Aaron
Kings
Fox
have
is-
the world record for the loudest crowd roar in an indoor sports stadium.
My underrated fan base would be the Nuggets.
Underrated.
Underrated.
I just-
I like the Nuggets.
I've never met Nuggets fans, so I wouldn't know.
I've met one, Gage. Yep.
Yeah. Gage
I don't even think he watches them anymore.
Gage holding down. But watching the Nuggets games, I watched a couple when they played the Cavs and watched the finals. And they just
Yeah, Denver's just it's a sports city.
yeah. So I feel like they don't Denver. You don't hear talk about Denver fans. So and then the next one is most overrated fan base.
Lakers.
I think the Warriors used to have the most overrated fan base. Everyone and their fucking mother loved the Warriors. People didn't even watch basketball love the Warriors.
It was a rough time for real Warriors fans.
I think
it was just all over the place.
I think the most obvious is probably Boston, just because no matter who you are, you hate Boston fans.
Jameson.
God, fuck that guy.
Yeah,
Damn. Damn.
Yeah, I feel like-
Shout out Jameson.
I feel like you can
Fuck.
tell someone's a Boston
Yeah.
sports fan before even like them telling you that they're a Celtics fan. Like they're just shit about people. They're like, oh, this dude definitely loves the Celtics. So I think those are just like the probably overhyped crowds.
I just picked
Every team loves beating Boston in Boston. They're just like
I think
the
it's
Lakers.
history.
I'd say the Lakers now. Can I just say LeBron fans?
Don't look at me.
Can I,
Don't
not-
look at me.
No,
Don't
not
look at
you.
me.
But some LeBron fan, I can't stand LeBron fans. It'd be like, who's the best short king of all time? Isaiah Thomas, Spud Webb. Some LeBron fans gonna be like, fuck LeBron James, man, LeBron James. And it's like, bro, we're not talking about LeBron. 6'9",
Right.
6'8", my bad.
250,
Yeah.
athletic.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm just gonna say LeBron fans, like the annoying, the Bron sexuals. Those ones, I hate them so much.
They're like a fucking
Just talk ball,
they're a
bro.
parasite on
Just
every.
talk ball.
They just like they infiltrate whatever team he's on, and they just like
Like
They're not even fans.
like
Alfonso. Alfonso. If Alfonso ever sees this,
this guy.
you're one of them.
Shout out Alfonso.
Your dad. He's got every fucking goddamn what the hell is a LeBron jersey in the world. He'll be like, I'm a Cavs fan. 3 years ago, I'm a Lakers fan. Now he's like, I've been a Lakers fan since I was a kid. But like every time I see him, he'd be rocking a Cavs LeBron jersey.
I'm telling
or
you, you're not
a
wrong.
Michael Jordan pinstripe jersey, and they'll be like, yeah, he's riding waves.
My dad
for sure.
is whole time is just pick a player, and he says whenever LeBron
And there's
retires,
nothing wrong with that.
he's just picking Ja wherever Ja goes.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Like,
You
that's
can
who's
pick
the
a
guy.
player. Like,
But it's
that's
just
fine.
annoying.
It is.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm a LeBron fan. But I've never been like that about it. Never been
Like
that
I can
about it.
support. I will support Jordan Poole until he's out of the league because he was a Warrior. But I'm not gonna be a Wizards fan. I'm not gonna go buy a Jordan Poole Wizards jersey unless it's tough, like the throwback blue ones. That's kind of tough. I like those Wizards jerseys.
I mean, I did that shit whenever Jimmy went back to the Timberwolves.
Yeah, that jersey was ugly. The green one, you need to take that back.
I didn't want that one. I wanted the white one. I wanted the white one.
It's 12:30. Jordan's tired. He's just insulting
Oh.
everybody.
I pulled it. My dad called out. My dad said, "I got you a new jersey." This fucking highlighter. I said, "Damn."
Oh,
Speaking of which, I wore my Timberwolves hat.
Yeah, really clash with your eyes.
what?
Hey, yo.
Hey, no, bro. Hold on.
Clash with my
All right.
No, I'm just trying to help you out.
All
I'll wear it again.
Anyway, next question, bro. A player from the '60s that would be good in the league now.
I'm not good with years. I don't know who's from. Give me players from the '60s.
Jerry West, Wilt Chamberlain.
Bernard King.
Moses Malone.
No, those are like 70s, 80s.
I don't know.
Guys, but
Koozie, John Havlicek.
Let me see.
I don't even.
Let me see. Let me get a list. Like I know old players, but I don't know like exactly what years they played.
Oscar Robertson.
Keep them entertained.
If he had a shot, I would say Will Smith.
Will Smith.
Will Chamberlain.
Will Smith.
Will Chamberlain would still be a
Young
dog.
money
Day.
rebel.
7 foot. What was he? 7 foot something. 48-inch vertical. He's blocking shots for sure.
Oh, yeah.
My vote is Will.
Yeah, I think it's the obvious one. Bill Russell, just because defensively one of the best defensive players ever.
Dick Barnett. The best jump shot in 2K. Nah, Jerry West probably be cold in this
I
era.
feel like Willis Reed.
I think he was
can
above this
Willis
time.
Reed would. Willis Reed would.
Willis Reed would just be like a, I don't know.
But then again, I feel like if you take fucking Ryan Arcidiacono and stick him in the 60s, he's the next fucking Bob Cousy.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like there's players like that from every era though.
Mm-hmm.
Like
You can interchange people players.
Pete Maravich would be a dog today
Yeah.
if he grew up with his skill, but it was translated into today's game.
You put Tyler Hansbrough in.
You put Tyler Hansbrough back then. Tyler
In the
Hansbrough.
80s, bro, he's on that Pistons team going crazy.
He's the goat. The goat.
Players that should leave their team. Like
I think
do not have a fit, and they need to leave their team.
I think it's obvious that the way that Portland's maneuvering,
I mean,
they're trying to make Dame not fit, and so they're trying to get rid of him. So I think he's the obvious one to just go somewhere else.
I don't think Zion's a good fit for that Pelicans team.
I think
I don't think he's
He
a
is.
good fit.
the reason why I say that is whenever he was playing, they were the top seed in the West.
This is
And
true.
whenever he's not playing, they were 11th seed. So I feel like that team is built around him. So if you take him out of the equation, that team's not going back to that number one seed.
But Zion had so much upside. I mean, you could trade him for pieces that
Take his phone
make him
away.
better. No. Leave his door open.
Somebody monitor him 24/7.
You keep him in the training facility, bro.
If you need a guy to watch Zion to make sure he doesn't do anything weird, I'll take it up.
Jordan,
I'll get the money.
And she's face guarding the whole time.
Don't touch anything. He's like 6'7".
Just for the next 8 months of your life, you are not leaving this building.
Hey. It is what it is. Player that doesn't fit.
That needs to leave.
I
Julius Randle
mean, I don't
kicked him
know.
out of New York. He is not fitting.
Julius Randle's not gonna fit anyway though.
He will fit if he's not starting somewhere. I feel like he could be like a really nice bench piece for a lot of good teams, but he's not fitting in no
Put
one.
him on the Cavs second unit.
Who doesn't fit?
You take him?
Who doesn't fit?
Jimmy Butler in Miami. I'm just
You
kidding.
know,
I'm
Zach
kidding.
Levine in Chicago. Much as I hate to
Yep.
say that.
Yep.
I love Zach Levine, but it's just not working out because they don't have. They have some nice point guards. They have Kobe. They have Alex Caruso. And since Lonzo's been hurt, they just haven't someone that can run the offense. They just got people that can score. But if no one's running the offense, so you can score, it just looks sloppy out there.
Rudy Gobert. Send him back to France.
Jordan hates
The
French people,
Timberwolves. I know a couple French guys. They fucking suck. No, anyway, I'm just playing. I'm kidding. I love French people. Anyways, we, you know.
guys.
No.
Go. We're trying to get this shit off the ground, and you didn't fuck this up.
No, Rudy Gobert does. I don't think he fits in with the Timberwolves. He doesn't fit in with Cat.
It was very
But you
forced.
can't give him away now because people are gonna make fun of you for trading your whole system for Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert.
Terrible decision. Best sixth man of all time.
I have two, and it's funny because they
Well, he said best.
saying
You can only pick one.
It's hard to
It's
pick.
best. I didn't say top two.
It's hard
I
to
didn't say
pick out
top
these
three.
two
I didn't
because
say make it starting 5 and 6 man.
they both played for the same team, and they both have 3 Six Man of the Year awards. I just don't know which one to go for, Lou Will or Jamal Crawford. Because their resumes are so similar, just like neck and neck, that I can't pick one of the two.
You know what? I wrote this question down, and I didn't even think about Lou Will. I didn't even think about Lou Will.
6 man like Lou Will.
Yeah.
This is literally a bar. There's a song about it.
I'm going
bro.
Jamal Crawford.
I want to do that too, but
Bias.
he was also a Bulls.
He was pretty much any team you think of.
He was
He
all.
was
He was all
he
the
was
cap.
in
The Knicks.
He was
He
all
was a
the cap.
nig.
The
I'm gonna just
on
go
the Nets.
Lou Will, just because Lou Will is like so fun to watch.
I agree with both y'all, but I'm not going to pick the same answer as y'all.
Manu.
It's-
Somebody needs a big
Yeah, I
Manu.
got
Manu.
Manu. Got
Those,
it.
that has to be your 3, bro.
Literally,
because
that's 1A, B, and C.
yeah,
That's how it goes. This is not really about a player.
What question are we on?
19.
Dang.
Should high school athletes get drafted out of high school again?
Sure. Why not? Screw it. They don't want to go to college. Why are you forcing them to go to school? They're gonna get paid in college now, so why not?
They get paid in
let
high
them-
school now.
That's why not just let them go to the league? If they think they're good enough, if they are good enough to get from high school to the league, if they get drafted, that's that team's fault. If they don't pan out, that's that team's fault.
True.
Develop them.
I feel like it's just
I
David.
feel like
David Stern had a
Okay.
very like old timey viewpoint. Like we shouldn't give 18-year-olds millions of dollars. They need to go to get their education.
that's why they need an agent.
I get that. I get that you want these people to like still get education in case their NBA career doesn't pan out. But at the same time, the upside, like the risk versus the reward, you might have, a Dwight Howard out of high school who's fire, or you're gonna have a Kwame Brown. Like you're gonna get both people that suck and people that are great, but you just kind of
Roll the punches.
roll the punches because there's been like a lot of great players that have came out straight out of high school. Kobe, Bron, Dwight Howard, Moses Malone,
KG.
KG, and then you have
There's
obviously
people,
the
there's
two
people
dudes
that well coming out of high school, being prep schools, but I don't really consider getting drafted out of high school.
I don't know. I just see it as like, it is what it is. Like you said, risk versus reward. If a player, let's say, obviously you don't know this in advance, but let's say on your basketball career you only have 2 years left and you're a senior in high school. Would you rather spend those 2 years in the NBA getting the millions of dollars that you can to change your family's growth, or would you rather go to college and get like maybe 100,000, which is still a lot of money, but it ain't a million? And on top of that, you could always go back to school. J.R.
Yeah.
Smith, Michael Jordan went back, got a history degree. I don't know. There's probably other people.
Yeah, it's like a huge trend for
Like-
players to still stay in
Yeah.
college when they go to the NBA. They just do that, online and
I
everything.
think some player here recently just got.
Wouldn't surprise
I
me.
think De'Aaron Fox graduated last year.
Somebody did this year. I'd seen it on Instagram not so long ago.
And so I just feel like if you give them a opportunity to go to the NBA, then they could just pay for their education and still get education while still having a career. I don't feel like you should just separate them and force you to be in school and force you to be part of this like NCAA program, which obviously has its faults for a
I
while.
feel like even like the stipulation of giving money to 18-year-olds, they're thinking like, oh, they're gonna go do horrible things. That's not always the case. John went to Murray State. He went to college.
We'll go on
I'm
Instagram.
looking at it a couple times. Not
Yeah.
once. A couple times.
Yeah.
But
The
it's
second
like
one was a freaking lighter. I found that shit out a
Lighter.
few weeks ago. That was so funny.
lighter.
It was just
We
a
bought
little-
that out.
It was a fire. It was a lot of alright.
No.
A lot of
I think
fire
it's
to
just-
his ass.
If you give somebody an opportunity and they mess it up, it's their fault.
I know why they do it because just the trend of giving young people a lot of money, like Len Bias had a lot of money right at the gate and died of an overdose, and then Terrence Clark was with some people that were drinking and everything, and they just have a lot of money and they
He
actually
was driving. Terrence Clark was driving.
I think he had been drinking. Yeah, just like
All right, he was
you give people money, and
RIP.
some people are just like it gets in the way, and then some stuff happens. But I just feel like those accidents are so few and far between that you just kind of bet on
I
those
don't
people.
even think, but yeah,
Go to the G League.
Terrence is what with money. I think he was like you said, drinking.
I know, but what I'm saying is like
He missed
money
out.
leads to drinking
Yeah.
and and like money leads to these kind of stuff. So I understand like why you don't necessarily want to give a young kid a lot of money because it can lead to bad decisions like drinking and driving. But same case, it just it doesn't happen that often where you could just punish everybody just because some shit like that
I
happens.
feel like the NBA would have like. Obviously I'm not in the NBA, but I feel like college. Obviously, you're still a college student. You're not like nobody's keeping an eye out for you. When you're in the NBA, I feel like they have people that's literally their job,
Agents and
like
stuff like that.
to make sure you're okay. And again, just go to the G League. If you want to go to college, go to the G
I was
League.
just
You're
about
gonna
to
play
say,
pros.
I was just about to say, I mean, drafting in high school doesn't really matter because you look at the G League as you graduated, you go work at
Yeah.
the G League, and
Yeah,
I'd rather show off in the
So-
G League than in college. You can go to college, be the best player ever, and it's not gonna work out.
If you're
Tom
in,
Hansbrough. Luka Garza.
if
Luka
you're,
Garza was a dog.
if you're in it for the experience,
Not anymore.
I would say go to college. If you're in it for the experience, like March Madness and all
Yeah.
that jazz. If that's what you were
Not
into,
if you suck though.
then yeah.
like for instance,
If
Bronny
you're trash, go get a bag. Bro.
Bronny
Go
going to
get a bag
USC is
if you can.
definitely just because Bronny wants to have that college experience. He's he's LeBron James, and he's never had like an actual
Like
life experience. He's been in private schools and everything his whole life, and now he can go to like a college environment instead of just going to the G League. Probably like White players decide to go that route.
I mean, he games too, so I mean, shit.
Who doesn't?
Maybe the hooping stuff isn't what he wants to
Devin
do.
Booker plays games. Devin Booker pisses me off.
I feel like every NBA player streams. It's either they stream or they do podcasts. It's just it's the streamline for NBA players.
I think the
Good.
podcast is taking over the
Podcasts
the
are great. I love listening to NBA players podcast. I love listening to professional sports players talk about their sports.
I love
Like
listening to Red
Travis
Racket
Kelce.
on YouTube and Spotify.
Travis Kelce and his brother, New Heights. That is the
Good.
funniest podcast in the world.
Not as funny as Red Racket on YouTube and
Oh
Spotify.
god. Oh no.
That's the Where we at?
20?
Most overhated player.
Overhated.
Overhated. Who player gets shit on the most?
Draymond Green. He's only overhated because he's not on your team. If he was on your team, you'd love him.
This is gonna sound wise. Gotta say LeBron.
LeBron's just in this weird
just
spot
feel
where
like
he's
that's
like the
an
most
easy-
overhyped and
yes.
overhated.
Okay, I'll create a different answer, but I mean, like I go to the barbershop. Shout out Knicks.
Where else would you get your haircut?
Yeah, for real. Shout out Knicks. Cole with the Clippers.
Not his team.
But shut up, bastard. If we talk about hoops in the barbershop, if I bring up LeBron, the whole barbershop's talking about how LeBron's this, LeBron's that.
You wanna know why?
that. LeBron's
Because they're old. Old people hate to admit whenever some new young guy is going to be good. Same thing's going to happen when, let's say, Luka Doncic does become really freaking good. LeBron fans going to be like, yeah, but he ain't LeBron. He's not LeBron. He could pass him in every category. And people are going to be like, but he's not LeBron.
Exactly.
It's going to be like that until the end of time.
I feel like on my end, a player that's like within the past like 10 years that gets hated on a lot, just KD. Because no matter what KD does, people are just gonna hate on the way he's doing it. The way they hated on the way that he went to Golden State. They hated the fact that he left Golden State. They hated the fact
I
that
did hate that.
they hated the fact that his stuff in Brooklyn didn't work out, and he requested a trade twice whenever he was there. And so
The
no
one
matter
thing I
what
wish- the one
KD does, no matter who he wins with, he's gonna be like, "Oh, you had to stack your teams. Oh, you had to play with 40 All-Stars before you got ring."
The one thing I hate about basketball fans is that they think the NBA is based on loyalty. It is not based on loyalty at all. It is a business. It is a business. So regardless if like when LeBron left Cleveland and go to Miami, that was a business decision. Like
His brand never got as big as it was.
exactly. It's a business decision. There's nothing in them contracts they signed that says you have to be loyal to this team and stay here forever. Some people got it. Kobe got it. Tim Duncan got it.
Kobe almost did have it. Kobe requested a trade.
I think he requested for it twice.
He was looking for houses in Chicago.
Yeah, he was so close. I think it was like testing stuff right before they went.
I mean, he did stay.
Yeah,
Because they changed their team finally.
yeah.
But
Same
I
thing
mean, some
happening with Joel.
folks got it like that. Some folks stay like that. But at the end of the day, the NBA is a business, and like so, they call KD a snake, this, that, and the third. Because let's be real, those motherfuckers don't give a damn about what we think. They don't care about what y'all think. They don't care about what we think.
He's going
They
to
don't
bed
care.
at night with the same amount of money he woke up with,
Exactly.
maybe even more. And it's nothing none of us will ever touch.
Exactly.
They don't care. They
So-
don't care. And he's might be one of the, if not the best scorer of all time. He doesn't care what we have to say.
Yeah.
At all.
The resume speaks for it. I mean, it's
The only reason why he had the burner was because there was so much stuff going on. Like, social media is a cancer.
It honestly
It's awful for
Yes.
if social media was back when Michael Jordan was in the league, we would be hearing Michael Jordan ain't Kareem. Michael Jordan ain't fucking who's Isaiah Thomas, Michael Jordan. That beef would go crazy.
It would go crazy.
It would go crazy on Twitter, X, whatever. Facebook, oh my god.
MySpace would be rocking.
Whatever was back,
MySpace
whatever
would
you
never
could think
shut
of
down.
back
bro,
then.
MySpace is coming back.
Would've been crazy.
Kick Messenger would be
The
insane.
pigeons, you send emails, not email.
Imagine you get a pigeon and it just Charles Barkley is better than Shaq.
Yeah, it's like
You're like
all right, and my last question, kind of a basic question, but something to wrap it up. 2024 championship predictions.
championship.
Championship predictions for next year.
I think
I think Denver runs it back.
that's probably my safe bet.
I think
If I were to
Denver
make
runs it
like a they have the potential. Boston. I think this needs to be Boston's final year to get over
that
the hump.
Boston fan.
I'm not a
I
Boston.
knew there was something I ain't like.
I'm just
about it.
saying they just
I knew it.
if there's 1 year for them to get over the hump, this has to be the year. And if Miami gets Dame, then it's Miami in my eyes. But that's just
What you? What do you know?
what do you think?
the Golden State Warriors.
What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What am I gonna do? Hate on my team? What am I gonna do?
We got
you know,
TP0 ring
hey,
on our team.
loyal to the grind. Unlike Dame, I'm here.
All
I
right,
mean-
that's the case. Cavs and four.
No, that's cap.
Cavs and four. Clip it.
I'm gonna keep my dark horse that I've already said in one episode. I forgot what episode it was.
Bulls and 4.
If there are no injuries,
You
or if
do
everybody
all that
can
stuff,
stay healthy, Pelicans, dark horse.
Dark horse. That's tough.
Mm.
And we'll get into more season predictions closer whenever
Whatever, yeah. Closer to the time.
we'll kind of like break down where we think they're going to fall seating wise and everything. But that's who we're looking at for as of today.
That was all 21. Y'all did a good answer though.
Um,
If y'all followed along there, comments y'all answers down below.
Before we kind of dip out, if you guys watched our previous episode where we drafted our all-time bag teams, I went ahead and just wanted to see offensively how those teams would do in 2K, so I just went and drafted them.
Wait, do y'all have y'all teams like in y'all's head still?
Probably.
I mean, I have them wrote down and all their stats right here. So,
I was about to go back in. Remind them who are.
my team consisted of Shaq, Dirk, James Harden, D Rose, Stephon Marbury, and KD. Preston's team was LeBron, Jokic, Giannis, Kyrie, Wemby, and then Jamal Crawford. And then Jordan's team was T-Mac, Manu, Boogie, Nick Van Exel, Lamar Odom, and Jason Williams.
The goats.
So
And
The bags.
I put them all on the teams, and then the rest of the rosters were just regular role players that would just fill them in after the draft. So
They give you work. You always work.
out of our 3 teams, the one that came, they had a record of 53-28, which was 5th in all of the league. Was Jordan's team. T-Mac was their highest scorer with 27 points per game.
Jesus.
Manu had 21 points per game. Boogie had 20.
Nick Van Exel had 5.
Nick Van Exel had 12. Lamar Odom had 12. and Jason Williams had 8.
That is,
And so if you average all those out, it ends up being an average of 16.6 points per game. And then in second place was my team with a record of 62-20. Shaq averaged 15. Dirk averaged 17. James Harden averaged 23. D Rose 19. Stephon Marbury 15. And KD 24 with an average of 18.8 points per game. And then Preston's team, it came in first. LeBron averaged 22. Jokic averaged 23. Giannis averaged 25. Kyrie averaged 23. Wemby averaged 9.
What Jamal Crawford?
And then Jamal Crawford averaged 12. We're a total team average of 19. So my team was behind by 0.2 points per game offensively. So that's just where those fit. And that's just a little callback to the last episode. You guys watched that. That's how they kind of panned out. We weren't looking to build like the best 2K team. We were just trying to see like.
But if we did, I would have.
no, if we did, I would have won.
If we
I would have came competitive.
yeah.
My first pick, probably might have been T-Mac. But my second pick would not have been fucking,
27.
what did I say, Boogie? I wouldn't have picked
Yeah,
Boogie,
Boogie
with
was
my
the
second
second
pick.
pick.
When Hakeem is still on the board.
Yeah.
Kobe's still on the board. I wanted to be fun.
Yeah.
Next time,
Wemby with 9
not.
points is absolutely insane.
Preston's team lost to Luka and a bunch of role players in the finals.
By 1 fucking point. Luka had 44.
Game 7 and 1 point.
Luka's a 2K7.
good thing next time we're picking defensive players, right? Maybe you can stop him.
For real, next time we do defensive, that's gonna be crazy.
I don't even know who to pick.
Y'all sneaking the next episodes, bro.
But that's I think
Keep them
that's
tuned
all we have
in.
right now.
Keep them tuned in.
Before we go, just make sure to want to say we appreciate the love you guys give us week in and week out, and let us keep on continue to do this. Tap into our social media, X at Rim Racket, Spotify Rim Racket, and then YouTube at Rim Racket, and then we're gonna try and get Instagram up here soon, maybe a Facebook, some other stuff getting going. So that's all we have for today, I believe, right?
Ain't got much. Appreciate y'all, man. If y'all don't fuck with, we're gonna keep doing this shit regardless.
Yeah.
But fucking with y'all, man. Appreciate y'all fucking with us. Like, comment, share.
Go Team USA.
Go Team USA.
Nah.
Stay tuned in, man. Got a whole lot of stuff on the way. Like I said, stay tapped in with us. Get at us on socials.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah, for sure. Comment what you
Unbranded
thought.
water bottle.
Comment what you be thinking, man. Give us ideas if you got any.
What is your favorite bag player? No, that should have been last
That's
episode.
old, bro.
What was one of the questions?
Answer one of
Give me
our
a question.
questions.
Yeah, answer.
No, not one of them. Give them a question to answer.
I'm gonna give them a question I asked.
Well, if you give them a question now, that's how we know that they watched it until the end.
That's what I'm saying. I gotta give
So
them.
give them a question.
God, well,
Let's see.
yeah.
I don't know.
Fuck Mary Kill.
What?
Hey, God.
Start, bench, cut. John Cena, Dave Bautista, Jeff Hardy.
You only gave them 2 options.
I'm sorry, I gotta cut Batista.
Hey, what?
Um,
Come on, man.
shut up. Drop your best 6-man of all time.
You said you weren't gonna ask him a question. You asked that.
Motherfucker, you just told me.
You said you
give
weren't
him
gonna-
one. You give him one. I don't work this damn hard, man.
All right.
21 questions. I wrote 14
yes, you
of them.
can give it 22. Yeah, you didn't even finish them. This was supposed to be a surprise for both of us, and we worked on how many? 7?
I tried to.
Yeah, I tried.
Unbelievable.
I tried. Man, Walmart's hard, man.
We worked the same place.
I know, I'm sick.
So was I.
Jesus.
Question. Who's your prediction for most improved player? Because that wasn't a question. I just answered it myself. Give me your prediction. That's how you let me know that you watched to the end. Like, subscribe, fucking keep listening. Sorry, Mom. Love you. Peace.
No.